Siren? Cover my ears! Kratos!
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're resisting the urge to snap our controllers in half as these enemies in the God of War series forced us to go through the 7 stages of grief. We're currently on anger. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Nokken, God of War Ragnarok.
Nokken! And so close to the village! Their stone makes their allies invulnerable! They will not let you pass unless you destroy them all!
The Nokken themselves aren't particularly challenging. It's how they can affect an encounter which makes them annoying to deal with. Oftentimes during a battle, some of the enemies will suddenly seem to become overpowered and have access to new and stronger attacks compared to what the player is used to. In such cases, you can be rest assured a Nokken has joined the fight to make your life a living hell. Not only does their spell increase an enemy's attacks, it can also make them invulnerable to attack or grant them a regenerating shield until you manage to track down the Nokken and deal with them. Which can be extremely difficult depending on the chaos of the encounter, as they like to hide far away from the action.
Behind you!
Cerberus Breeders. Various. The three-headed guardian of the underworld was already difficult to deal with, but later incarnations would introduce variations that could spawn even more. The Cerberus Breeders can spawn or spit Cerberus seeds or pups, which can rapidly grow into full-grown Cerberus hounds if not immediately dealt with. And then these in turn can summon even more pups to continue the never-ending saga of agony. And that's only if Mama Cerberus will let you near her pups to begin with. Remember, in addition to slaughtering all the pups, the full-grown Cerberus is still on the hunt and will assault you with claws, teeth, and fire to save their younglings. Gorgons. Various.
I offer you the power to freeze your enemies where they stand. But you must earn such a gift.
In movies and mythology, Gorgons sound like a fascinating encounter, trying to avoid their stone-turning gaze and snake-like tail. In practice, however, it's just unbelievably infuriating. The Gorgons are ridiculously fast, making it difficult to hit them with no proper lock-on, and the speed at which they can easily turn Kratos to stone and smash him to pieces is only a matter of seconds. This becomes even more of an issue the further into the series you go, and the slithering serpents begin to attack in packs, meaning you're in a constant struggle between swinging your blades wildly hoping to hit as many as possible, while also avoiding numerous stone gaze attacks without getting crushed into tiny Spartan pebbles. Their finishing move minigame is also one of the most frustrating due to its reliance on imprecise analog stick movements. Sirens, God of War, and God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. You really only encounter these nightmares in the original God of War until they reappear in Valhalla, although they are slightly less annoying in that entry. Upon discovering these, let's say, lady creatures, Kratos must track them down in the desert in order to kill them and open the path forward. Easier said than done, as they are hidden within the blinding sands, and even upon finding them, will summon numerous other enemies to protect them and potentially start the chase all over again. They'll constantly spam magic attacks, and their screams can paralyze Kratos, leaving him open to further attack. Thank goodness they never became a recurring enemy in the series. Archers. Various.
These creatures, they came from nowhere. The ships are all destroyed. All hope is lost, Spartan. Even for you.
Archers have always been an annoyance in video games ever since their first incarnation, and likewise in the God of War series, they are no different. Seemingly always perched just out of reach, these cowards will take pot shots with explosive arrows that can all too easily knock a Spartan off his feet. Although extremely weak, the real struggle is just even reaching them to deal out some much-deserved punishments, as not only are they usually out of the way, or worse, off-screen, but the constant barrage of arrows will certainly slow down your ascent to their hiding place. As if that wasn't bad enough, the further you get into Kratos' journey, some of them can even fire multiple arrows at once, particularly when you're perched on a precarious position, sending you into a perilous fall into a pit. I really hate these guys. Revenant, God of War 2018, and God of War Ragnarok.
What is that?
So we're going towards this person?
These witches are exactly what you imagine when you think of some ghastly old spellcaster that haunts the woods. Right down to the animal's skull headdress, and likewise, they make use of their magic skills to great effect. What makes these creatures so annoying is the way they constantly teleport around the arena, making it hard to land solid hits against them while they bombard you with magic and elemental attacks, which are often homing projectiles. Because of their speed, they're nearly impossible to hit without Atreus or Freya stunning them beforehand. But due to their affinity for teleportation, they could end up halfway across the battlefield before either can get a shot off. Revenants will also often distract Kratos by summoning nightmares, or the new version of Harpies, so they can slink away and attack from the shadows.
Some Vanir turned to dark magic to defend themselves from the Aesir. There were...
Wurgrus, God of War Ragnarok.
They just keep coming!
It's a Bergsra, spawning of us wretches like there's no tomorrow.
For her, it will be so!
These walking piles of garbage and excrement aren't only frustrating for their high defense capabilities, but also the fact that some of them can spawn little wretches that scurry around the battlefield inflicting damage and running off, all while you're still dealing with the mother. Able to spit toxic sludge with surprising accuracy, the Wurgrus will lumber after their opponents before slamming Kratos with their enormous fists, and should the fight be going too well, they'll unload a noxious odor which can stun Kratos and knock him back momentarily. They can easily dish out and take a shocking amount of punishment, and should you be unfortunate enough to run into more than one at a time, they'll easily keep you on the back foot for the entire encounter, while they whittle your health and patience down to nothing. Minotaurs, various.
No! No! Stay away from me!
Are you familiar with the term stunlock? You will be after encountering these beasts. Not only do they love to charge you and attack in pairs, or worse, in groups, but if they manage to hit Kratos, they'll leave him bouncing like a ragdoll for a rather uncomfortable amount of time while they line up their next hit. It's all too easy to get stuck in an endless loop of getting hit, flopping around like a fish, regaining your footing, and then getting struck again and starting the entire process all over again. And because they like to attack in numbers greater than one, while you're locked in combat, another can all too easily interrupt your combo and leave you as helpless as a Magikarp that doesn't even know Splash. The epic takedown finisher is too good for them. They deserve so much worse. Harpies, various. Any encounter with a flying enemy is guaranteed to be an annoying time. But there's something about the Harpies that makes seeing these flying bastards all the more infuriating. Maybe it's the large flocks of them swarming Kratos all at once, maybe it's the fact that some of them can quite literally dive bomb the Spartan, exploding on contact, or maybe it's because almost none of Kratos' attacks in the early game are designed to deal with flying enemies. A constant annoyance throughout the entire Greek saga, they also wonderfully come in different variations just to spice things up and get your blood boiling. The fact that the devs even refer to these as annoyance enemies tells you everything you need to know about their design and purpose.
Wretched beast! I know who it is you serve. Return to your master. Tell the god of war I am his no longer.
Ormstunga, God of War Ragnarok. The only real boss on our list, don't let Ormstunga's size fool you. This little bastard is stupidly fast compared to his contemporaries, and has a nasty habit of getting up close and personal and running away before you can even attempt a counterattack. In the Greek saga, this wouldn't have been as much of an issue as Kratos was much faster and nimbler back then. But with his new lumbering size and speed, even keeping the little shit in your sights is a struggle. His speed also means it's almost impossible to nail him down with either your spear or Atreus's and Freya's arrows. And even Kratos' blades will end up slicing air in most cases, as Ormstunga will usually be on the other side of the arena before you're even able to begin your assault. Thank the gods he's not only optional, but that there's only one of him in the entire game. Which God of War enemy made you throw your controller in anger? Share your frustrations down in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.